We see global brands like Nike spend a fortune on full-page magazine ads and highly produced TV commercials. These adverts don't even sell a specific product. They're just there to get the name and the brand out there. We look at them as the best example of modern marketing and try to follow in their footsteps with our own businesses. The truth is that spending your entire marketing budget trying to get your name out there when most people don't know what your name means as yet is a huge waste of money. The truth is that there's far more affordable and useful techniques to spend your marketing budget on for small and medium-sized businesses. Today, I'm going to take you through 5 techniques to outmarket the big brands. Number 1, speak their language. You need to understand who is your most likely group of customers. Sure, it's true that anybody can be a customer at any point, but if you're producing a new beef patty, you wouldn't want to try and target a group of vegetarians. Sure, one lady may buy it for her husband, but what's the odds of that happening compared to targeting a specialty barbecue store? Your target market also generally speaks a specific language. This could be because of their age, their location, or even their mother tongue. Reaching out to them in a voice that's familiar to them will help them feel a connection to your brand and enable you to sell more products to them. Just be careful not to lose your own brand in the process. If you have an elegant brand, then don't try to be hip just to sell a few more products, or you might lose some of your current customer base in the process. Number 2, create a loyalty program. Loyalty programs are loved by big companies to collect loads of data on their customers. But they become less and less valuable to the end customer as these big companies have had their margins squeezed thinner and thinner. These programs used to be only accessible to large companies, but now you can buy an off-the-shelf system for your smaller business. Even a simple one that merely gives them a percentage back with each purchase for their next shopping outing is extremely valuable. Think about it. If you have $10 worth of points on your card for your next purchase, you're more likely to go to that same store, inevitably spending $100 in the process and earning $5 more in points for your next purchase. This will lead you to shop again and again in a never-ending cycle. People also love collecting and accumulating points, which is another way that keeps them loyal. Number 3, guerrilla marketing. Universal Studios created these massive footprints on the Santa Monica beach that made it look as though King Kong had come through here. Pictures were taken and shared with millions online, creating a massive online buzz. Flash mobs are another form of guerrilla marketing, where a group of people break out into dance seemingly spontaneously at specific locations. You could hire a group of students to wear your business's t-shirts or use one of your products and break out into a flash mob, either in the mall or even in the parking lot. You'll create far more buzz than you paid for as people all over town snap images and share videos. It's a lot more difficult for big brands to get away with these things without permission, but smaller businesses can get away with a lot more. And at worst, the police will just tell you to disperse. Number 4, local sponsorships. Sponsoring a local team can be an incredibly affordable way to create goodwill and bring more feet into your store. This is taking what the big brands do and bringing it down to a much more affordable local level. You'll find that most local sports teams really struggle to make ends meet, finding it incredibly burdensome to pay for away games or sports equipment. If you by chance decide to sponsor a junior soccer team in your town, you'll find you'll create incredible goodwill amongst the locals. And you'll also find that many of the parents will come and shop from your store just because you support their kids. It's usually not very expensive to pay for a junior sports team's kit, and the return you'll get in goodwill is incredibly high. Number 5, samples and tests. There's a psychological reciprocity that happens when someone gives us something. We feel as though we owe them something in return. This also happens when it's a free item, like a sample of a deli meat or test drive in a new car. It's very difficult for large companies to build that same psychological connection. And it's also very difficult for large companies not to get exploited when offering free anything. Though it's very simple for smaller businesses to give out tests and samples and manage them efficiently. Once someone has tried something or tasted something, they've crossed the boundary from not owning it to owning it, even if it's just for a moment. And our brain tells us that we gave something up when the sample or the test is finished. We're even so willing to go as far as paying just to get that taste or that feeling back once more. In the end, you need to experiment and double down on what works. It's not always easy to tell what marketing techniques led to what sales. But it's far easier for smaller businesses to do this because they're more closely connected with their end customers and clients. There's also different techniques that will work to gain new customers compared to those that will work for reselling to existing customers. It's usually more expensive to gain new customers, but it will turn out to be more valuable in the long run as you build a much bigger customer base. In the end, you need to double down on what works for you and your customers and toss out the rest. Just make sure that your assumptions are right.